And the entire media attention gets diverted to them, while the Burmese army chops the remaining 50% of Rohingya. My friends, brothers and sisters,
Not on there.
fellow citizens,
Be on the green side.
and this is any cloud of hopelessness. Where 50% of the villages of my people have been burned to the ground.
And sends peacekeeping forces to stop the Burmese army from this genocide. Remember, please remember.
And just to put that in context in terms of what they represent less than 1.9% of the entire population of Myanmar. And this is a people that the government says is an existential threat to that country. Where does that? Members of that family were killed by the soldiers. From where he and his sons were hiding in the forest, Tabir said he saw soldiers throw children from the village into the river, including his 3-year-old granddaughter and his 1-year-old grandson, and then shoot them. Later, the soldiers came back, collected the bodies on the riverbank, and burned them so that they could destroy the evidence of the atrocities that had been committed. He lost his wife.
That's committed. They committed 1,000 tons of food, and they committed another 10,000 tons. In addition, they have committed to build temporary shelters for 100,000 people. To this point, while Canada has made some strong statements, they have committed $2.5 million. That's it, $2.5 million. Carl Crusoe. Now, we're not asking the Prime Minister to invite, tens of thousands of Rohingya refugees to Canada, because I think a lot of those refugees would rather not leave their lives. And while I commend what the PM did with respect to the Syrian situation, we are now at another time. And I will bet you that if you talk to the Syrians who arrived in Canada and who found a safe life in Canada, they will tell you that Canada should do its duty. Canada has a moral obligation. So what can you do beyond coming to demonstrations and being active on social media? Sign that petition if you haven't already signed it. Change.org. Under my name.
There's no two sides to this issue. There's only one side. I did speak on the parliament on this issue. One of the most heart-wrenching news is that many of these 500,000 refugees who are coming, they are women and children. I'm told about 1,500 children were born during the last 20-25 days. This is unacceptable. I'm quite proud of our Prime Minister and our Global Affairs Ministers. They have come out with very categorical statement. Very clear. They did not wait for very long. In issues like this, many times we see a government take a stand. It will be months and months after an issue has come to fore. But they were very clear. Global Affairs Minister calls it ethnic cleansing. There can't be any more strong words that she can use. And I'm here with you. And so, Brother Ahmed mentioned, and Farid Khan also mentioned, reach out to your MPs. That does a lot of weight. When the MPs start hearing more and more from you, and we will in turn raise it within the caucus, we bring it to the government, and action just takes place. The government is helping. I'm the first person to agree that we need to do more. Like the Rohingyas currently, we also have our Palestinian brothers and sisters who have been living in refugee camps for decades and decades. The previous government cut the funding to zero. We brought back last year 25 million to help them, and again brought back another 25 million to help them. Rohingyas, it has just started. We are working hand in hand with government of Bangladesh to help them, but I'm the first person to agree we need to do more. Once again, thank you for inviting me here and be part of it. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My brothers and sisters, we heard the most profound things that are happening for the Rohingyas from our earlier brothers. I'm not going to, I have a long speech, and I was going to repeat some of the things that have been happening to our brothers and sisters in Myanmar. But everything I believe that needs to be said about what's happening there has been said. So I want to work with all of you. I want to work with all of you in a multicultural Canada. In a multicultural Canada, what is the responsibility of our government? So on Thursday, I asked the question of the leader of the Senate that when there was a crisis like this in Yugoslavia, we sent our armed forces to help those people. So now let's look at what has happened, what's the landscape. The Prime Minister says, and I believe him, that he's spoken sternly to the leader of Aung San Suu. He's written her a letter. Our Foreign Minister says this is an ethnic cleansing. Yes, we all agree with that. But then what is our government doing? I say to you that I've been asking questions since 2014, and I've been talking about this issue since 2014, and obviously in the last few weeks, every week I ask a question of the leader of the Senate. I'm not happy with the response. I'm not happy with what our government is doing. You know, they're saying they're working with other groups to see what can be done. I don't need to tell any of you here, every minute they work with somebody and not show leadership, one of our brother or sister or their family is being killed. And so I say to you, the time to talk, the time to negotiate, the time to find out ways is finished. I am the Vice Chair of the Defense Committee, and I know for a fact, and the Chief of Staff has said there are 600 men and women waiting to go somewhere to help. The Prime Minister said that Canada was back. And all I'm asking the Prime Minister to do is to go intervene in that area to stop the killing. To stop the killing. So my brothers and sisters, I want to work with you, as all the other people. Arya has done great leadership. He continues, my brother Arya continues to show great leadership in the House. This is what I want you to do. It's a little different from what the other speakers have said. It's the same, but a little different. When you've given your whole morning, Sunday morning, and especially for us women, that's the only place we have to get everything done. So for all of those people who are here, it's a huge sacrifice because you care. So I ask, the minute you go home, do 3 things for me. Write to the Prime Minister saying, Prime Minister, time to talk is over. Act now. Stop the killing. What are we going to say? Time to talk is over. Act now. Stop the killing. Is everybody with me? Yeah. Do the same letter to the Foreign Minister and do the same letter to your MP. I'm asking you to do letters. For somebody who gets a lot of emails, emails the staff looks at. But if say each and every one of you do a letter here, trust me, my brothers and sisters, that is more than we can ever do. Because the Prime Minister will understand that Canadians want him to act. On Tuesday, I'm going to speak in Parliament as to what does responsibility to protect men mean in light of the Rohingya crisis, and why is our government not going there to help. So my brothers and sisters, I could go on and on speaking, but there are other speakers. My main message to you is, Allah Ta'ala brought us here for a reason. Yes, for the quality of life for us, but I also truly believe that He brought us to be the keepers of our brothers and sisters around the world. We are the blessed ones. We are the ones that have all the advantages. We will go home to have lunch, and we have to. We of course have to live. We have to survive. I'm not saying we shouldn't, but let's use, we have tremendous power. The power of the pen. With each, imagine if each and every one of you did a letter. Trust me, it will make a difference. And I ask that you contact Mr. Chandra's office or my office, send us copies, so then we can also get up in our respective houses and ask, how is the Prime Minister responding? So my brothers and sisters, I'm again going to ask that even before you go home and have that first cup of tea, take any piece of paper, write to the Prime Minister, get it delivered here tomorrow, or get it mailed, but I prefer that you put it all together, get it delivered here tomorrow. Because every minute we wait, we lose a brother or sister. My brothers and sisters, the time to act is now. Let us come together. I am a person that does not believe that we need to fundraise, because we have a government that can do a lot of, provide a lot of resources. I believe that we need to spend every minute we have to make our government act. My brothers and sisters, write that letter today. Thank you very much.